Hey y'all, welcome to Dread Pop. Hold on. Do I want to do welcome to Dread Pop? Hey y'all, welcome to Interview with a Reader, where I get to talk to Dan. I have a ton of his books, one of my favorite authors. There's a stack over here if you don't see them. And I'm super excited to talk to him. Hi, Dan.
I'm excited to talk to you too, again.
I know, again.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Dan's video got deleted or disappeared into the wild blue yonder, so we're doing this for a second time. He's the only person that gets a second run at doing this, so if he's too professional, we're blaming it on that.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, so pretend like we've never had this conversation and tell me what you love about the horror community. What's your favorite?
What I love about the horror community. Well, I feel like it's a family, honestly. Like when you think of horror, it's just like real personal and dear to everybody. Like for me, the VHS tapes growing up, it reminds me of my grandparents. It reminds me of the films that I saw and how they impacted me and just my youth. It's comfort for me, which everybody in the horror community would understand that. If you tell people that aren't into horror, they're like, "What's wrong with you?" But no,
there's something like personal about it, because horror is one of those things that if you're going to get exposed to it when you're younger, you usually have to sneak into it, or you're with a group of your friends or a group of your cousins, and you're experiencing this crazy thing all at once. So it ends up being a big thing and a comfort thing, because that's some of your first memories instead of watching like the Power Rangers or something.
Yeah, well, I think with horror too, it's like because we're all going to die eventually. How are we going to die?
And there's everybody can connect to that.
Everybody can, because nobody
scares you. Yeah. Something scares everyone.
Exactly. And even if it's going to be one day where we can clone ourselves, like the sixth day. Well, sixth day was still it had horror elements to it. Nothing worked out perfect. Could die a bunch of times.
That is so true. That is so true. And that is a big thing about the horror community. Like, you walk into a space and there's a bazillion subgenres. There really is. But it's like all of you get along because you're all there to seek a thrill, get scared, find something cool. Or you've seen that movie that you may not say, hey, that's the best thing ever, but you can sit down and talk to somebody about it. And that's super exciting, or at least I think.
It's even one of those things where it's you can see a terrible B movie and it still has they gather cult followings over the years. And I don't know of any other, maybe comedy, they have
yeah,
but like the Naked Gun and stuff like that, those aren't bad, or maybe
those are made to be that way though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Usually B horror is just you were working with what
made,
you had.
And it becomes that. It gets the status.
That's accurate. When it comes to my taste in horror movies, I usually like the stuff that other people are like, this is terrible, hated it. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. But no, it's fun. I like that. Speaking of movies and stuff, who do you think probably was like your horror role models that kind of molded you to want to do this?
Probably Bruce Campbell, Bill Moseley, Sid Hain, Doug Bradley. Just off the top of my head, yeah. Like some of those horror legends, like actors. And I mean, there's Leanna Quigley. I mean, she's in all kinds of 80s films.
The 80s films, I have such a soft spot for them. They're just so... Some of them are so crazy, but you just can't look away from them. I don't know. I like B horror.
Yeah, there's just so many. And I love finding them. And they just...
It's like they don't take themselves too seriously, and somehow that just saves the entire movie, because it could have been something so terrible. I have this crazy relationship with that movie. Is it Rubber, about the tire that's alive and kills people? The tire, the car tire or truck tire. It's like a rubber tire.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Okay. I will send you the link to it. It's about this rubber car tire, and it has psychic telekinetic abilities, and it just basically rolls around blowing people up and killing them out in this desert and terrorizing people. And I'm like, this is the most insane thing. And I just happened to start watching it one day, and it's like, I can't look away from this.
I don't know. That reminds me of Maximum Overdrive.
It does, which is also horrifying.
Terrible.
Anything like that is terrible.
Yeah, it's like terrible. It's like so good. They're so bad it's good.
It does. I watched that movie when I was very, very young. I think maybe 6, and I side-eyed vehicles for a very long time after that. Like, I would just be walking along, and I'm like, I mean, I could die. I've seen it in the movie, but it was such a B horror movie. Like, when I grew up and watched it later, I'm just like, this is hilarious. This terrified me for so long. Let's see. Who, if you had to pick, probably would be your favorite inspirational horror author? Or maybe not even horror, I guess, that was like, yeah, I'm going to start writing this.
I started writing before I found Clive Barker.
Ooh.
So, because I started in like 4th grade. And at the time, I was just writing what I saw. Like, I rewrote Halloween and like rewrote Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then I would come up with my own ideas of how it would end or where it would go off to. I wrote like
telling me you were writing fan fiction.
Yeah, I started writing fan fiction, basically. Yeah, and little tablets and stuff. I have a bunch of them still. I lost a lot of them.
Oh, you have to keep the ones you have forever. That's something like in a million years from now when you're super famous that you're like, yeah, binding this into a short story collection, releasing.
I thought about.
Are you still there?
Because from when I was. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I've thought about taking pictures of them and sharing them.
That would be cool to do too. Like,
I even drew like little covers too.
Okay, yes, you have to.
Because like Night of the Demons was a big thing for me, so I wrote like Night of the Grim Reaper and Sight and all that. And I wrote like 3 or 4 of them.
Listen, I know people would love that. That's just something that when an author does something like that, I'm just like, this is so cool. I don't remember if it was Judith Sonnet the other day or somebody that I caught a stray comment that was like, I wish I still had a copy of like the first thing that I wrote, and she didn't, or they didn't. I can't remember who it was. Was it Judith? I swear it might have been Judith. So either Judith or Joseph. And I was oh.
Yeah, and the first big thing I wrote was I wrote half of it in high school, and the other half became it all became Banshee Graveyard that I put out last year. There's some stuff I go back through and I've rewritten and put out.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. That's even cooler too. I love that.
Yeah, Clive Barker probably would be a big one. Definitely Brian Keene. Newer, I would say, but not too new, like Christopher Triana.
Ooh, he is good. It's so like not maybe unexpected. I think I randomly stumbled across one of his books and I picked it up. I was like, oh, okay, this cover's cool. I'll check it out. And I was like, wow, this is something. Yes. Let's see. Do you do anything horror related, like video games? Do you keep up with movies, horror related, TV shows? TV shows is becoming a big one, which I am very much enjoying. They are putting more out.
I have a hard time getting into TV shows. A lot of times, if it's going to be a season, I'll wait till it's over so I can watch it.
Okay,
but I hardly feels like I hardly ever have time, like because I'm always, being a dad, married, got all the stuff to do around here.
Somehow work a job and write books. No big
and
deal.
market. Yeah. So it just it keeps me busy. But I like to watch horror movies. I'm behind on all the new ones, like a lot of new ones.
I swear I'm like 3 years behind on all the new horror movies.
I'm a big Aliens fan, and I haven't seen the new Aliens yet. I think it's Romulus.
I just wait for other people to talk about them on my Facebook feed, and I'm like, okay, I'll add that to my list to watch maybe in the next 4 years.
The video games, I just play Dead by Daylight with my little brother. We'll chat on the phone and play that every once in a while.
That one is fun.
I heard they're making a movie about based off that.
I think I heard that recently. I play like a couple of random video games, so I end up seeing a bunch of video game feed stuff. And I swear I've seen that recently. It seems like a bunch of stuff in the horror community is starting to become more acceptable, I guess. I talked about this recently with somebody.
Yeah.
I remember when you would go to buy a book online, or you would go to sort library books at your digital catalog or whatever, and there wasn't a section for horror. It was just like you'd have to dig 14 menus deep to find it, and it was $3.
Yeah. So it's definitely more popular again.
It is, and now it feels like video games. Like, I know there's been horror video games, but those are getting more popular.
Thanks, COVID. That's why. Everybody's cooped up, got crazy.
They did. And then horror books. Like, books are getting pretty bindings now, and all this specialty artwork, and people are wanting to, like, hey, go to these conventions, and they're popping up everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, those are fun. I enjoy conventions.
I have not been to one since I went to Dragon Con, but I am very excited for some of the upcoming ones. I really, 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 really have to, no matter what happens in my life, go to Scares That Cares this upcoming year. I feel like the biggest amount of regret of my life for missing it last year. I don't know. It just, everybody had so much fun.
It's always fun. I have a table. I already have my table for next year.
Do you have a table partner?
Not yet. Because I tabled with Brandon Paris Sanchez this year. And then my first one the year before, I was new, like just had a book out. So I went just to see people.
Mm-hmm.
And I vended up in St. Louis.
Ooh.
So I heard they might be doing another one in St. Louis next year. I'm not sure. If so, I'll do two. So that's close.
They're so cool, though. I have literally just the photos alone from everybody that start to pour in. I'm just like, I have such secondhand regret for not going. So I'm like, okay, this I have to go to no matter what happens. What's another one? TBR, Megan Stockton's, right?
Yeah.
I saw all the photos for that one, and it looks super excited. Are you going?
I didn't go last year because I was doing St. Louis for Scares, and they were both so close together. So I'm doing it this year.
That's exciting, too.
It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of people there.
I know. I keep seeing more and more people, like, talking about it and posting, or I see them post in the group asking, hey, do you still have tables and stuff? And I'm like, there's so many people going, and it looks so fun. So I'm like, okay, those are really close together. I mean, not really close together, but kind of. I think I can do it, though. We'll see. What other ones are you going to, or are you going to any cool events and stuff like that?
This year was just AuthorCon and TBR. I might be doing something in October. I'm not sure. But next year, AuthorCon, maybe if TBR, they do that again. So
I mean, those are the big ones.
Year.
Or, well, the big ones in our area, I guess. Community? I don't know. Those are the important ones. Well, except StokerCon, but that's big, 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 big.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about some serious stuff. I want you to tell me where your inspiration for your bows come from. Like, I know they're horror, I know they're scary, but like, where does it all come from? How do you get your ideas? Do you just wing it? I know you said some of the stuff that you draw ideas off of from what you already had, but tell me about your process.
I get an idea and then just kind of like, I don't know. It's so hard. My brain, I don't know. It's like a movie in my head. So I'm just going along with it.
That's so crazy. I see absolutely no photos in my head. So I'm just like, a whole movie.
Had, like, a wandering imagination when I was younger. So I was always writing, like in class, I get in trouble because I was like sitting there writing a story instead of like paying attention to math, history, and English. That was always where I excelled. I was not a fan of math and stuff. I have a short attention span sometimes. Like,
Math is horrible.
I run around like with like in my pockets all the time. I have like notes and stuff of just phrases, things, ideas. I have a lot of notes.
I like that though.
Stories. Yeah, I have some stories that are like drabbles and stuff. Like,
I mean, that starts so many ideas. I'm one of those people that I also have a ton of sticky notes, digital or otherwise, because I run off of bullet points. Like, I never go into anything like I overthink everything, of course, but like not planned out to the T. I just have bullet points I jump from. I'm like, okay, well, how do I go from here to here, here to here, here to here, and then everything in the middle's just the story, I guess.
Yeah, but every story is different because
it is.
Some, depending on the style of it and everything, experiences, you always put a little bit of yourself in everything. I don't really outline. The only story so far that I've actually like outlined and took like to make sure everything lined up was Cabin Black. Because that was a totally different approach because I started writing that a year ago. And then I did it, took a break from it for like 3-4 months. It was at 25,000 and I ended up getting rid of 20,000 words and took a whole different approach, and that's the one that's out, or it'll be out.
Just gonna set these up here.
Ripper's Well.
Yeah. So I remember the last time that we had this interview, you were telling me about Ripper's Well, and wasn't it you kind of had the little city set up because we were talking about interconnected like novellas. I really liked that last time, so go ahead about that again.
The Towers Valley.
Yes.
So a lot of my stuff takes place in Towers Valley, and it's not like all the way mapped out because it's still a world I'm creating. I don't want to like pigeonhole myself with it. So there's always like Barnett's Bluff. There's tunnels. There's the Robin Hood Hills, and there's a lot of references. There's a psychiatric unit, which Ripper's Well and The Devil's Right. It's the same psychiatric unit. The same doctor shows up in those two books. The tunnels that connect with one of my short stories in my first collection ties into Banshee Graveyard. And then, of course, the Full Nasty ties in all of them because there's a killer in Banshee Graveyard that is actually related to Satanic Bill. And there's all kinds of Easter eggs. There's some readers that like have it down.
Spreadsheet. Do they have a spreadsheet going of all
almost like of stuff. I've kind of just lost track and just it's just in my mind. So
I love that kind of thing. That's one of those things. Like one of my favorite books in the world is Goblin by Josh Malerman. And it's all about the one town, and each novella is set up to something in there, and you'll see it pop up somewhere else in the book. And there's just something so exciting when you realize, hey, that's literally from this other story with Old Girl, or Brad Ricks in To Hell with Hallmark his was short stories, but I am obsessed with it. It's just so fun.
Now, Corpse Bound, that doesn't take place in Towers Valley. It takes place in the city, which the city's referenced in Soulless Lonesome and some other short stories. That Towers Valley is like out in the middle. It's like surrounded by country and like all these other little towns like Bone Gap and stuff. But then there's always like the reference to the city, And Corpse Bound actually takes place in the city with the Cannibal Moon, which is actually a Cannibal Moon series I thought about starting. So book 2 is going to take place on the other side of the city, and there's going to be different books. Now that's based on that one event in the city, but then it still connects it's not far from Towers Valley with all the other books. The only book I've written that doesn't tie into anything Towers Valley or world-wise is Cabin Black. Is separate.
It was still good though. I really liked it. And I will be getting a copy when it actually releases. But there's just something, I think, about the interconnected part that gives it an extra layer of horror. And I know 9 times out of 10 when we're reading a book and they name a city or state or something, or even if I live somewhere, I'm like, okay, well, that's horrifying, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think nothing else about it. But when I'm reading a book and then I read another book and then another book and then it starts calling back to things, it makes it more real somehow. And
yeah,
I'm
it takes that fictitious level out of it. And
yes.
It becomes like like In the Mouth of Madness, the movie, like how as he reads Hobbs End and all that, it becomes more, because he just starts reading it and he's like telling her like there's that and there's this and like the whole town.
Yes,
and like, every little piece of the town is referenced in different books, and it's kind of like that. As I go on, it'll probably be more in depth.
It's like building its own lore almost, and then after you start to build that lore, you start to think about it when you start to go forward to other books, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is going to get bad real fast because you remember what happened last time or what happened near it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get obsessed with stuff like that, and I think it adds like an extra layer to books. Like, there's nothing wrong with not doing that, of course, but it's just crazy.
Well, I did it with my collection. I had a different approach with it too. Is at the end of the collection, it all almost ties together. With the last story, the baby ends up being somebody and then the person, and there's a person in the last story that has their own story, and I got a lot of praise for that. So
it's like a I don't want to say closing the circle so much. I don't know. It just kind of makes it all wrapped up in maybe not so pretty of a bow, but a bloody bow.
Well, the element I was going for was like, oh, there's going to be more of this.
Yes.
So then as you read like Soulless Lonesome, The Devil's Right, Banshee Graveyard, those are all very tied close into the town. Then I went on my full nasty spree. And this year's just been kind of writing like what I like to write. I mean, I love to write all kinds of horror, but full nasty is just, I don't know, it's absurd.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's absurd. It's gross. It's I just wanted to have some fun with it and get as nasty as possible, and nothing, show that side. Like I can write stuff there's no rules, and then
listen. I like that people are stretching their legs and doing
instead of just doing Because my collection was like a mixture of both. So, and then Soulless Lonesome's like a deep thought. Like you have to pay attention to it, and there's the twist at the end. And
I like it because when you get to write a bunch of short stories, I feel like you get to taste a little bit of what you like to do. Because that's what I love about short stories and anthologies. Like you're like, okay, so either this group of authors or this author specifically gets to test off these like little miniature, hey, can I write this type of horror without investing in a full novel? And then you get all kinds of good stuff branching off, especially if they start to dig into it.
I wrote short stories for the longest time.
I love it. They're one of my favorite things. I don't know why people don't like them. They're so fun.
Yes, people hate them. I think a lot, you could tell a lot by an author how they do short stories.
I will 100% invest in a short story collection from an author before I will a full novel.
Yeah. Well, and what kills me is people read a short story and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so good," and they were so into it, but they're mad at you because it was a short story. I wish it was longer. It says short story,
I hate that, but that's
a lot of the hate I get for Craven's Freaks. A lot of people are like, "I wish it was longer." I'm like, it says a short story on the front for a reason.
So, like, I do that too, but like I get mad at the point where I'm like, okay, I want more. Like I'm so excited, but then I go and read everything else they got so I can find something else. Not getting mad as here's your 1 star because you didn't do enough.
And that's why I tend to tie in Towers Valley with all my stories. So if you read a short story of mine and you like it and you're mad because you want more, highly doubt it. But you could go read another one and you might see the same character when they're younger.
Like I 100 million gazillion%. So I started reading your stuff, of course, and I hadn't really picked up any of Jason, Nikki's stuff or anything. And I seen he had like short story collections or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go check these out. And I became obsessed. I was like, why don't people give short story collections more anything?
Yeah, I'll be putting one out later this year for all the anthos I subbed and everything. I know I've put out like Craven's Freaks and Rotting Pinata like separate, like little books, which I like to do those like little books that people can just get because they're quick for your TBR, especially
They're
towards the end
cute.
of the month, or you're wanting a quick read. So
Something before bed, light and airy, no big deal.
yeah. But one thing I never wrote before I started publishing was novellas. I wrote nothing but short stories, and I wrote Solace Lonesome's a novel. It's the only novel I've written. This one's almost a novel, Captain Black. But yeah, I was like, I just kind of like didn't really write novellas. It was kind of these two, and I'm not a big novel fan.
Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to read a big novel. Sometimes novella's better. Sometimes I just want short stories. Like, I feel like there's something for everybody. I really like that.
I like to think I don't want to take 2 chapters to tell you something I can tell you in 1 chapter, or half a chapter to get the point across and make it like, all right, that's all you need to understand it. I don't need to go off and give you everything.
No, as long as you've made the story connect, it's good. It doesn't matter how short it is.
I've read some novels, I'm like, they go off on something that has nothing. Yeah, and it's getting to know the character more, but it's a lot of, I don't need to, hear about what your favorite CD is forever,
No, actually, that is accurate. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, can we get on with the interesting stuff? And that's nothing against slow burns, because slow burns are good too, but like, make it worth it. I need it to pay off.
Yeah. I think we live in an age where everything's digital, everything's quick, everything's fast. And a lot of people want, they want to get into something and be able to get there,
I'm surprised flash fiction hasn't made a big return, because I remember like a decade ago, I swear flash fiction was everything. Everybody was doing flash fiction. Everybody was doing flash fiction contests, flash fiction books. And now I don't even know if people know what flash fiction is half the time.
I obviously everything goes around full circle, so.
Oh, maybe it's time. It's coming back.
Flash fiction. I don't know. I'm not a flash fiction guy.
What?
But there's some people out there.
Here's my thing. If it's going to be flash fiction, I need it in a book, and I need all of them to be similar and it to make sense for the time you're done, so it feels like I have
that probably
all together. If it's a bunch of random flash fiction, I'm going to walk away thinking I hated this, probably.
That's probably what I'm thinking. I'm just like, yeah. If
it's kind of like an anthology, but it's just all flash fiction.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
just not a bunch of them and they all don't go together. I'd be like, yeah. I've only written like 1 poem in my life or so.
I don't read much poems. Mini poems?
Yeah. Not knocking it. Some people are really great poets.
I mean, I love Shel Silverstein. But that's about it. What was I going to say? No, I had a good question. My next question is, now that we've talked about that, what is something that you want to write? Like a genre, I guess, that you've always thought, man, it would be really cool to bust out a book in this. You just haven't got to it, I guess. Does that make sense? That's different from what you do now. Is there anything, or do you just enjoy it?
I mean, this is all I've ever written, so maybe...
You don't think you want to be a sci-fi author at some point, or put a sci-fi book out?
Sci-fi horror, maybe.
Sci-fi horror. Isn't all sci-fi horror, though? Let's be honest.
When you think about it, yeah. Or
I have not seen.
Doesn't a lot of horror have romance in it? Love triangles.
True.
Taboo nature of brother and sister. Just
okay. So let me rephrase that. Do you think you're going to write a dark romance book anytime soon?
No.
No dark fantasy, no dark romance, dark mystery.
No.
Let's see.
Should do a slasher in reverse. Like where a slasher's out at the lake, this guy, and he's like killing people, and it's like normal slasher, but they go through one and one, you get to the end, final girl. Well, it's the opposite. He tries to kill everybody, they kick his ass. And then at the end, they all get on him and they all just kill him.
Yes, I like that. I love slashers, though.
It's like some scary movies.
hey, I like horror, like funny horror. I mean, not funny technically. What's the word I'm looking for? Comedic, maybe. I think you froze on me.
Hello?
Okay, you're unfroze.
Okay. Yeah, like the dark humor,
Yes.
dark comedy, horror.
Like you're sitting there in that slasher film, everything's terrible, but it's still funny. This guy just can't get it together and make it.
Yeah, like that's kind of what Full Nasty falls into a little bit.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for that kind of crazy stuff because it's just when you're in a situation like that, I feel like you have so many emotions going that like it's just absurd. I would probably laugh at something just absolutely not funny too.
Well, a lot of people say like they'll be reading it, it's like so disgusting, but they're like the reference, like how you describe it, just is hilarious.
It is. It makes it funny to where it's not just gross to be gross; it's gross to be funny.
Yeah, there's unsettled one. You're unsettled 1 minute, and then you're laughing the next.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's see. Next hard question. So be prepared. What wisdom do you have to pass along to like other authors, people that are coming up? Because I remember when we talked last time, you talked about how you basically started out on Blue Sky and ended up hopping over into the Facebook world and all of that stuff. So what do you have to kind of...
I just came in out of nowhere.
You did, because I was like, I haven't seen any of these books.
Yeah, I don't have a Twitter or X, whatever it's called. I don't even know. I know what Snapchat is, but I never used it. I didn't have TikTok. I didn't have Instagram. I had a Facebook, and I never used it for like 10 years. And then I was like, I'm getting in this. Like I learned, basically, best advice: just keep writing and doing what you love. Like always, and never forget that. No matter what kind of success you find, or how many books you sell, you can never forget the feeling that writing gives you.
You got to do it for you.
Yeah, you do it for you, because if you lose that, I mean,
it's another job in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah. And you may never, some people, there's, all it takes is that one book. And sometimes that one book is something you put out 3 years ago. Like, how many people do you know that are real famous now, like big names, and they put the book, did it hit and blow up right away? No.
I was about to say, think about the no sleep area of like Reddit. How many of those authors have become like crazy good for something that they were doing a trial on Reddit? Like it's so crazy because it got popular and got traction.
Yeah, there's some authors that have been doing it 15 years.
Just one book.
It can be daunting.
It can
see that. But it just time and place. Something hits, something doesn't. Honestly, I would, and just write what you love and always be willing to experiment. Don't write the same watered down stuff all the time. Like you see it a lot. There's some people that got like, it's a bad term, but you're like that person. You'll read like 6
they got a format, like it's a Mad Libs format almost.
Yeah, they use the same format, the same time, and it's like they're a one-trick pony. And you see that all, you can see it a lot.
I think Judith made a post recently talking about how she said authors need to read other books, other genres, take in other stuff, and I'm like, it really makes sense, because if you don't, where are you getting inspiration from?
All elements.
Stories.
Like me, a lot of it's films and stuff, and then older books. And then my buddy got me this. He met Doug Bradley, and he got it signed for me.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I love reading a lot of like biographies and of actors and writers. But also, I'm a huge S.E. Hinton fan.
Ooh, really? Now?
Yeah, I have all her books. So, like, it's not just all horror, I guess. So,
tell us about that. I love that too.
I don't know. I've always liked The Outsiders, Rumblefish. That was Then, This Is Now.
Did you Did you see that The Outsiders got like a something year edition or something? I think it was Barnes and Noble, but it was just so nice to see that book get like this beautiful, I don't know, cover.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's a really good book, and Rumblefish is really good too.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I read that one.
The Motorcycle Boy. They actually have a movie. It's black and white, and it's got Mickey Rourke as Motorcycle Boy, and his brother is Matt Damon.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go do that.
Because Matt Dillon's in The Outsiders, the movie.
Because The Outsiders is one of those books, of course, that was required reading in school, and it was one of those books that I'm like, oh, this is something, this is cool. So I started looking up like other books that kind of related to it. Not so much The Outsiders, but just like injustice type situations, Two Sides of Town,
like The Giver.
Maniac McGee made me cry.
Of Mice and Men.
To Kill a Mockingbird. That was a good one. I know some people are like, it's too classic. I don't care.
No. It can be, that's the thing. I like it whenever you take something that's a classic trope and all that, and then you just put a spin to it. Not remake the film. That seems to be Hollywood's way to do it. Let's just remake the film. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big Lovecraft fan, but I am obsessed with anything Lovecraft inspired. Like, it's like the people that take the idea and come up with these crazy things that are above and beyond. And I'm like, yes, you ran with this. Love it. Yes, cosmic horror is such a thing.
I would say probably Dagon's probably like, I like some H.P. Lovecraft. I'm not like in love with all of it.
I'm one of those people that if it's too fancy, I start to lose interest.
Yeah. I like Edgar Allan Poe. It's very bleak and
they are. He puts like emotion into it while you're reading it. Like you get tense. You have trouble breathing. He
was like 33 or something when he died. He was an alcoholic.
Man, I would have died too writing that much horror. Like
yeah. Annabelle Lee is brilliant. That's one reason why I got like the crow here. The typewriter with blood.
Those are cool. Horror tattoos are cool.
I got all these horror tattoos every 3 months to 2 months when I got my first year getting sober. That was my reward system.
Ooh, that is such a good reward system too.
I did that, and then I journaled every day or every week for the first year. So that was like my getting through my first year. And I started writing. I pulled out my old stuff and started writing again because I didn't write in my 20s at all. I stopped. I think the last thing I wrote was like a screenplay. I was 21. And then I didn't really write anything for the longest time until I put myself in treatment.
I mean, addiction is a monster on its own. It eats everything. I can't even.
Yeah, it was just a joyless existence.
And I've met so many people that have completely turned it around, and it's just, I can't even imagine.
So you tap into those like addicted characters and like the self-loathing and like the people struggling to survive every day, but they're like, this is my life. I was like that. Like I was a functioning alcoholic, and I was like, but I was okay with it because in my mind, I was like, this is just how life is.
It seemed normal.
To drink a 6-pack to feel normal because you're off, like from drinking so much for days, not eating for days. Like I would spend weekends like that for years.
I mean, but now you've got it all turned around. I mean, it's still a day at a day time, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
I don't think about it as much.
And you can use it to fuel these stories, kind of. And I guess that's a little bit therapeutic. I don't know. It might not be, but at least you have something that you can use from all that bad, I guess.
I had a lot of my earlier stuff, my collection, Soulless Lonesome, The Devil's Right. They all have drinking. People have issues with drinking, or they're always the Ripper's Well is big into like her addiction and stuff at the beginning, and like how she, like that stuff's, you know, me, like my feelings on it, like how I felt.
I think it adds like this extra layer, because I know a lot of people think, oh, it's just a horror book, it's no big deal, it's just a bunch of gruesome, scary stuff. And I'm like, sometimes it's not just a bunch of gruesome, scary stuff. Like, this is real. They had to come up with this somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes
you see a lot. I mean, it just depends on what you do for a living or how you grew up.
yeah.
I worked in a psychiatric unit for kids for 8 years. I've seen a lot of stuff. Seen a lot of stuff that their families had done to them. Now I work in a prison. I've been doing this since I was 20, 22.
Good goodness.
35 now. So and it affects everybody differently. Like for me, I think it affected me more when I drank and stuff, but I've always kind of found calm in chaos.
I mean, now that you're sober, I'm sure you have more of ability to keep a hold of everything, and it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Less stress, I guess.
I'm a dad. My daughter will be 2 next month, and that's just the best thing in my world. Like, she's everything.
That's adorable, and I love that too. Far off there, cool dad, cool husband. I mean, come on now.
I married my best friend, and she was with me. She helped me through it all. So.
Oh, I didn't realize that either. That's even nicer. I bet. I'm gonna cry after this. We're having a Hallmark moment right now.
She's the reason why I started publishing, because I was talking to Candace like not even 2 weeks after my daughter was born, and prior up to that I was getting kind of talking to people and thinking about doing it, and she was like, why don't you put it out there and see what people think? And she supported me in doing it. And I tracked how long I've been trying to do it since my daughter was born. It's almost 2 years. So.
That's so amazing. I love that. And that's so nice. That's inspirational. I think everybody needs to listen to that.
I try to, I don't know, from what I used to be and what I am now, I'm happy. So.
And honestly, that's what I tell people and say all the time. You can try to live up to everybody else's standards, but you have to be able to live with yourself. At the end of the day, you are literally sitting with yourself in your own head, and I don't want to have to hate myself.
Exactly. And that's like just being around toxic people and stuff. Like, you only get one shot at this life, and at the end of the day, you're going to be, in your head alone at times. So if you cut those people out, then it's gone. And you can live however you want to live and be happy. And you don't have to have them in there rent free in your head.
Yes.
If you keep them around, you're just constant. Like, you surround everybody's grandparents, or you've heard, like, you want to be successful. Who do you surround yourself with? Successful people. Whenever I was an addict, and doing stuff, who do I surround myself around? The people that wanted to do that stuff with me.
Yep. Because if you had other people, they would have been nagging and saying,
yeah, like, why?
And then you would have had to look at a mirror and think, no, this is terrible.
I thought it was outlandish when my wife, was like, started having issues with it. I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah,
And if you had surrounded yourself with different people, they'd have been like, bro, that's legit. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I have learned that the hard way. Like, the day that I realized that, like, you don't have to be everybody's BFF. You can just be 100% cordial, or just not even deal with them at all. Like, you don't owe anybody.
Yeah. And it's like the horror community. It's supposed to be an escape and everything like that. We always need to remember that.
Yes. An escape. Absolutely. Safe zone.
We're safe zone. Be your real self. Because some of us can't, like, go around and, like, talk about the books we read or write with, them normal people.
Legitimately, I swear, if people that I worked with, like, ever knew half the books that I read, the looks I would get.
Yeah.
But I don't care. But no, it would be weird. So it's nice to be able to, like, just go talk a bazillion times about something. Like, I've run into authors in the horror community that I've talked to where they like weird detectives like I do. And, like, I found a bunch of books that I could read, and I spent like an hour talking about it. And I'm like, this is so cool. Nobody I know likes this.
There's a market for everything.
Yes, I agree. Okay, wrapping everything up. is there any horror sections, communities, groups, conventions, I guess, I don't know, that you want to give a shout out to? Like, hey, this is amazing and I love the things they do. And don't you have a group or an admin of a group?
I'm an admin.
I think you cut out.
Uncomfortably Dark. Okay, Uncomfortably Dark. Candace Nolan, all them.
Yes.
I love them. Your platform, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many.
There's so many like little splatter and extreme groups.
And
I like going to them because it's so welcoming. I don't feel weird, being like, hey, do you guys have any weird books about this? Or I find books that I like to read.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of groups. There really is. And there's a lot of groups that are ran by the same people that run different groups. So there's just in case they didn't get those people over there, they got them over here.
Groups for everybody.
There's groups for everybody. That's a great thing, honestly.
That's what I was about to say. Sometimes I don't like it when groups get too big because then you're just you can't make everybody happy and you can't get every book the eyes that it needs to.
No.
In my opinion. So
you can never make
smaller
anybody
ones
or everybody happy.
Yes, also that. And when there's just so many subgenres. So I mean, I love it.
There's a lot.
There is a lot. Well, I'm not going to keep you here much longer. So thank you so much for being here for the second time. So technically you've had to do this for 2 hours now. And I hope to see you back again.
Oh, I will come back, definitely. Thank you.